A very good morning to Dato' Fazlur Rahman, Chief Strategy and Regulatory Officer, TNB, Mr. Richard Island, Managing Director of Clearance Events Asia, Mr. Nicholas Rasto, Portfolio Director, Dato' Zulkifli Haji Sharif, CEO of MITEC, Malaysian Convention and Exhibition Bureau, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to first thank the organizers for having me here on behalf of the Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change, and for this opportunity to say a few words. Just now I had a conversation with Mr. Richard Island. He told me that POWERGEN Asia and Asian Utility Week was last year in 2014. So on behalf of Malaysia, I would like to welcome POWERGEN Asia and Asian Utility Week back to Malaysia 2019. For the international delegations here who are from all around the region and the world, I would like, on behalf of the government of Malaysia, I would like to welcome all of you to Malaysia in this beautiful country. Selamat datang. As what Dato' Fazlur said, I really hope that after the exhibitions and the conference, you will spend some time to enjoy the beautiful city and this beautiful country with good food, good people, and good surrounding. I'm very confident also that the organizers have made the right decision to hold this inaugural event of such scale and magnitude in Kuala Lumpur. And the organizer wrote a draft of the speech to me and said that it is for us to be the leaders and regional and global leaders, for Malaysia to be a regional and global leader. Let me just say this, is that a more suitable words for Malaysia wanting to be in hosting POWERGEN Asia or Asian Utilities Week or work together with our regional partners is that we do not want to be leaders or regional global leaders. A more suitable word for us is that we want to be your partners. We want all of us to thrive together. We want all of these countries to partner together and so that we together can provide a better, more affordable, reliable and sustainable electricity to our people in our respective countries. That is what Malaysia aspires to be. I have thought about what I would like to share with the delegations here from all around the world. So I have come up with something that I would like to share with you. As an Energy Minister of Malaysia, how do I see an energy landscape? Let me just say that I would like to share with you how do I think of such a time. There are four different things that I think this is the time. First, I think this is a time of disruption. With IoT, AI, and VR, this will allow more efficient generation and maintenance of generation assets. With digitalization of grid, it will allow for more creative distribution according to time of use and offering very different package that what we could offer previously. With the line of power industry actually is being blurred. Just now the keynote speaker on the opening said this, is that the utility company is no longer just providing power. The line and the oil and gas company is no longer just provide electricity. The line of this industry is blurred. And this is a time of market disruption. So this is the time where people who do not want to change will be left behind. That is why I also want to congratulate TNB for thinking forward of what is to come for electricity industry. The second thing I would like to say is this. This is a time of renewable energy near to parity, if not already at parity. Let me give you a very clear example. In Malaysia, the generation cost of coal is 15.74 cents per kilowatt hour. For gas, it's 23.22 cents per kilowatt hour. We have just finished our third round of large-scale solar bidding. The first 4 projects, which encompass 365 megawatt out of 500 megawatt, actually bid below the gas price. It bids below 23.22 cents per kilowatt hour. That means solar at the large scale, in Malaysia, the large scale is like more 100. Some of you from India, your large scale is 500, 600. More 100 megawatt of scale is already below the gas generation cost. We are seeing that the last round, the second round of large scale solar bidding was 32 cents per kilowatt hour. That was our reference price, so to say, when we opened for bidding in this year. But when we closed the bidding through the price ranking, then we realized that the price of the reduction, the lowest of this bid is 17.77 cents per kilowatt hour. That is 45% reduction in just mere few years. That is why we are very confident that solar will reach parity in a very foreseeable future. Malaysia is also working on other renewable energy types so that it will hit parity or below the gas generation cost. Of course, we are a bit far away from coal generation, but with technology and innovation, we believe that the time of parity will be very close. That is why very soon that we will announce the launch of Reimagining Malaysia Electricity Supply Industry Plan, where one of it is to allow for green energy trading through the grid in Malaysia. It's a 100% renewable energy can be traded in the grid, not selling to the national utility company, but with a bilateral agreement. And this will allow more innovation towards our renewable energy players. We are also looking at how do we want to incentivize more renewable energy investment. One of the things that we are focusing, beside regulatory framework policies, is financing. That is why the government have come out with this green financing plan that requires, in order for us to reach our renewable energy target of 2% to 25% by 2025 for 20% by 2025 for renewable energy, excluding 100 megawatt of big hydro, we need about 33 billion of investment. 33 billion of ringgit of investment. 33 billion of investment cannot just purely rely on government funds. That is why we need to incentivize private financing. There are 21 action items that we are going to do to incentivize private financing in green energy. And we are also going to continue the incentives. For example, GTFS, Green Technology Financing Scheme. We're going to continue GITA, Green Investment Tax Allowance, GITE, Green Income Tax Exemption. We are going to continue the government incentives towards helping renewable energy players, but at the same time, we will also do an institutional reform so that we can incentivize private financing. We believe there is a lot of value that we can create to the shareholders and investors in renewable energy business in Malaysia. First, time of disruption. Second, time of renewable energy near to parity, if not at parity. The third, I think this is a time of demand management and prosumers. With the customers demanding more and more for a utility company, I think business as usual is not a way to go. So the government is working on a few things. The first thing that we are doing is that how do we help customers to better manage their demand, and through energy efficiency. We are coming up with a new bill, Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. So hopefully we will table it by next year and get it passed so that we will have a regulatory framework fixed up for energy efficiency. We are also looking into co-generation policy to help industry to actually better manage their steam, turbine, and also thermal energy to electricity. We are also looking into prosumers. That is why we have renewed and enhanced our previous net energy metering, where we previously work on selling to TNB at a displaced cost. We have enhanced the policy of net energy metering on a one-on-one offset basis. I give you an example of the take-up rate. 3 years we have launched net energy metering before we do the enhanced net energy metering 2.0. 3 years, the take-up rate was 27.7 megawatt. After we have enhanced the net energy metering policies to net energy metering 2.0 this year, from January until now, we have seen that the take-up rate is more than what we have seen for the past 3 years. Therefore, we see that there is a demand for putting up solar panels on rooftops. Net energy metering is to tap on the potential of rooftop solars in Malaysia. I give you how much of a potential Malaysia has in rooftop solar. There are about 3.2 million of landed properties, residential properties in Malaysia, 450,000 shop lots. We have about 90,000 of standalone factories, terrace factories. We have 21,000 of standalone factories. And most of all, Malaysians like shopping, so we have 1,000 shopping complexes in Malaysia. So there is huge amount of rooftops in Malaysia that has a lot of potential, and if we don't use it, it will just be unusable. That is why the Malaysian government is working on net energy metering policy, so to tap on the potential of rooftop solar through net energy metering. But this is not only limited to just rooftop. It can be on biogas, compressed biogas. It can be on anything that is behind the meter for net energy metering. So what we want is the behind of meter renewable energy generation that can enjoy this new policy on a one-on-one offset basis. We are also looking into solar leasing policies. We have enhanced our solar leasing policies where now we can allow for solar leasing in Malaysia. And this is to those who do not have enough capex but would like to take on the solar because of the cost competitiveness. These are some of the things that we do for demand management and prosumers. First, we have time of disruption, renewable energy, time of demand management and prosumers. But last, I would like to raise it here. I think this is a time of international power trading through regional collaboration. I was told by the organizers that there are regional players here. I think one of the things that after I attend this tonight, I'm going to attend ASEAN Energy Ministerial Meeting. And one of the topics, and most of the topics of my bilateral meetings, are international connections. International connections between Malaysia and Singapore, interconnection between Malaysia and Indonesia, interconnection between Malaysia and Thailand and Laos, international connection. And ASEAN is ready for ASEAN Power Grid. And this will be, we will see the first and only multilateral agreement between Malaysia, Laos and Thailand in power trading. It will be a firm power purchase for Malaysia from Laos through Thailand. This will be the first, but it will not be the last for ASEAN Power Grid. We see a lot of potential for regional collaboration. We see a lot of potential of a competitive advantage in power generation in one country to supply in another country. Of course, the enabler of it is a regional regulatory framework and technical framework that must be collaborated, that must be similar between each other, and of course, a continuous peacetime in all the ASEAN countries. That is why there is a great potential. I think there is that ASEAN is ready for ASEAN Power Grid. It's just that how do we negotiate so none of us, we just have so that all of us thrive in this partnership. Malaysia do not believe that we to be the sole winner of ASEAN Power Grid. We want all ASEAN countries to thrive with us so that all our electricity supply is affordable, sustainable, and reliable through regional collaboration. So we will witness, we are actually at this exciting time. A lot of people tell of all these four: disruption, renewable energy, demand management, and international power trading. These are the times we are at. What is this time? Charles Dickens is best of time is the worst of time. But for me, to use the short words to describe this time of power transition is that this is a challenging time. This is an exciting time. And it is the government responsibility to make sure the process, the market structure, and also the institution is efficient. And our new new plan, government institution will focus on this thing. It's called transparency. Our priority is transparency, 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 so that investors will be able to see what is to come and the certainty in power planning, etc. And of course, we will make sure that the reform will allow the best to thrive. Competition across the value chain, from procurement of fuel, generation, transmission, distribution to retail, that will competition to drive a competitive cost across the value chain so that we can deliver the best value for the people of Malaysia. For the companies here, that I would like to encourage you to compete on technology and innovation in not only your process, but also in the management and also strategy and the corporate strategy. So to create value for investors, shareholders, and most of all to the consumers. Malaysia believes that there is a win-win deal for everyone, for the government, for the economy, for the investors, for the industry players, as well as for the consumers. We believe that by working together with the industry, working together with our partners in the neighboring countries, we'll be able to provide the best for the people of Malaysia. All of you here, most of you are from utility companies, and you provide power to people in one way or another across the value chain of power distribution. I'd like to end with this. A lot of people ask me, what is your one thing that motivates you to be the minister, especially a minister of energy? I think this thing motivates me. I believe energy is an enabler for economic development. I believe energy and power is an enabler of a better life for people. I believe that energy is not just about creating more profits. It's about creating a better and brighter future for the people of my country. I believe that is the industry you are in. You are in an industry that not just about creating profits. You are in an industry that is about creating a better life for our people and for the next generation. Think about it. We are in an industry that people in the rural area will think of, how do I get an access of the electricity? The poor students in the outskirts of Malaysia needing an electricity and light to study. We are in an industry of trying to provide affordable electricity to small business players who are trying to survive in selling their mama, their food and all that in the hawker centers. We are in the industry where the medium-sized factories are trying to survive by cutting their costs, trying to see how do I maximize the profit. We are in an industry where heavy industry is also relying on our bill so that they can thrive and can hire more people, and that they can hire more people and creating more wealth in the pockets of the people. We are in an industry that make a difference in people's life. So I would encourage not only the organizers to continue to organize more stimulating discussions and dialogues among industry players. I want to encourage all of us to make sure we are competent, that we excel in whatever we do. Because when we excel, people get the best from us. With that, I'd like to wish all of you a fruitful days ahead. Thank you.